The changes instituted by Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso to reform the electoral system reflect a broader reconsideration of Western electoral models in African contexts. Several key stumbling blocks inherent to Western electoral processes in Africa illustrate why these approaches may be unsuitable or even detrimental to the continent's political realities. Welcome to the CEA Network. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. President Ibrahim Traore is truly an agent of change, and change he has vowed to institute in every sector that needs overhauling, one of which is the Burkina Faso electoral process. Western electoral systems often involve enormous costs, including extensive campaigns, imported materials, and international support. Using Western-designed electoral tools, such as voting machines and standardized ballots, may not align with local contexts, literacy levels, cultural practices, or infrastructural capacities. This leads to inefficiencies, mistrust, and logistical failures. The involvement of NGOs, while intended to promote fairness, often has partisan biases, influencing electoral outcomes to favor certain candidates or parties aligned with Western interests. Their presence undermines national sovereignty and leads to perceptions of neo-colonial interference. Western electoral systems operate within legal frameworks that may not be suited to the social, ethnic, or political realities of African countries. Attempts to enforce these standards marginalizes indigenous governance traditions and alienate local populations. Western systems tend to emphasize procedural fairness and formal institutions, sometimes overlooking the importance of informal institutions, community-based reconciliation, and traditional authority in African governance. Western electoral methods often ignore deeply rooted cultural norms and practices unique to African societies. For example, community consensus and traditional leadership play crucial roles in many regions, which Western models often overlook. The high costs associated with Western electoral processes are prohibitive for many African states, resulting in electoral inaccuracies, disenfranchisement, or delays. The imposition of Western electoral templates may exacerbate ethnic or regional tensions, especially if the process is perceived as externally driven or biased. Heavy foreign involvement often leads to a perception that electoral legitimacy is externally manufactured, weakening national sovereignty and local legitimacy.